Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of our show. Here to play his 1962 Fender Stratocaster, along with his 62 Custom Shop Reissue, and all of Jabroni's American Vintage, I present to you Benito DiBartoli.
Stop whenever. I'll just keep doing that for some kind of a rock star with food and chicks and producer and guitars. If my wife knew this was happening, she'd be pissed. Listen, all those years on the road with Eddie Money, let me tell you something. All we did was take naps. It was a bunch of old guys traveling doing this stuff, and we just want to get to our hotel room and take a nap before the show, do the damn show, and get back home. That's it. Accumulate miles on the airlines. That was fun. That's enough. This 62 Strat is not an easy guitar to play. It sounds incredible. It's got that special, vintage tone that you can't get out of any other kind of thing. But it's not the easiest guitar to play. These are much easier to play. This one you really got to work. You got to take this one seriously. This one is not going to give you any free notes or any accidental pinched harmonics, if you know what I mean. You have to really play this one for real. There's a lot of 62 Strats, real 62s, but this one, as you can see, has been played properly. It's really, there's a lot of tension happening there, and that changes the makeup of the wood. Especially you're into finishes of guitar. I think this is where it comes into play. The older guitars that have the thin finish, all that vibration changes the makeup of the wood. It changes the sound that it produces. And, if I'm lucky, I never thought I'd be able to be, the owner, or I'm more the shepherd of this thing, because I'm going to pass it on to someone at some point. This one is my trusty road guitar that's so comfortable. It's so comfortable and part of me that it was a pleasure to play, but for different reasons. Enough of this guitar. And this is the secret, the Strat that songs like 2 Tickets to Paradise, Baby Hold On, No Control, Think I'm in Love, a lot of those songs were recorded on a Strat that had a Seymour Duncan hot rail, but it's a neck position hot rail that's put in the bridge position. It was a trick that the great guitar player Jimmy Lyon did on those early recordings of Eddie Money. And we always kept it the same way. You know, all the Rode guitars for Ed, we always had that, you know, neck position, Seymour Duncan hot rail pickup in the bridge position.
Yeah.
It's the perfect instrument in every way. Alright, let's see what the Tele sounds like. Tele really exposes all your weaknesses, doesn't it?
Well, I made it worse for you. That's got 50 style flat wounds on it.
I like flat wounds. That 62 had flat wounds on for 20 years. Does every guy that pick up this guitar do that lick?
I feel like you should.
Jerk off. I'm such an idiot.
You should.
Do something else. Sorry about that. People forget that a Tele can get a great, thick distortion. Nice Tele.
So you were able to play this 59 American Vintage from 2015. It was set up by Kevin, owner of Music Depot. Check them out, fantastic stuff. He set this guitar up the exact way you like, to your exact specifications. Let's get right down to it. How did it stack up to your 62 and to your custom shop 62 reissue from, when was that made? 96. 96.
Each guitar, you know, my muscles respond a little bit differently to each guitar. I could feel it. So, to answer your question, how does it stack up? These are all wonderful instruments that I'm just a lucky guy that I get to sit around and play them with you.
I'm sure you got some crazy stories from the road, right? ones you probably couldn't even tell here, you know, and a long and storied career. You know, I remember the album Sports from '83, and certainly I think Power of Love was probably a great boost. 4 with, you know, Hip to Be Square.
Hold on, you think I played for Huey Lewis in the News, clearly. It was actually Eddie Money.
Oh, well, even better.
Money.
So back in the 80s, when you were touring with Eddie Money and playing on great albums like, what?
Actually, Brian, I'm sorry to stop you, but I started working for him in 2014, so.
Okay, let's move away from that one. Benito, what have you been up to these days?
I have my own little sort of 3-piece collective called Hired Gun. That's me, and it could be different guys, you know. And that's about it. Just keeping the calendar full and feeding my kids.
Yeah. Hey, that's what it's all about. And hey, speaking of nourishment, crack an ice cold Jabroni with me?
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming, and like always, thank all of you for watching.